Hello everyone, good afternoon, nice to see you, how you doing? Gabs here, Digital Beer Stream, What's in the Glass, week number 9. So very happy to be here with you guys, chatting beer, chatting good things, chatting about nice things in life and everything. So just for giving an idea, Digital Beer Stream is a way that I found to try to fight the boredoms of the lockdown and try to keep the beer community connected as much as we could. And it started as like an experiment in my flat during the lockdown. Have been quite popular. We have some fantastic guests, very nice people, friends, people in the industry, all sorts of people. I've been probably chatting with 36 people. Today is going to be number 37. Really excited about it. And I'm aware the situation is slightly different. There is a nice sun on the sky. The days are longer. You can go to the parks. You can do many different things compared to the beginning of the situation. But, still, I think, especially in these days, we need to be unified. We need to try to be connected and in touch as much as we can all together. So today's stream is the Coach Stream, and Coach Stream is our 30 minutes digital beer education program, and is dedicated to deliver experts insights into the world of beer. So every week I'm trying to connect with people that know quite well this industry and different sides of it. And I usually give a big shout to someone within the industry or in the world right now which is doing very good, important things. And the shout for this week will be definitely the Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was founded in 2013 as our response of a murder of a black person in the US. And their mission is to eradicate white supremacy and build local power to intervene in violence inflicted on black communities and the state by the state and vigilantes. So considering the situation where we live in now, I think it's pretty iconic and important, and there is someone standing all of these injustices. So I had few people telling me that maybe I shouldn't post on social today, and I have few people telling me that I maybe shouldn't, do this today. But I think from my point of view and from this community point of view, it's good to be in touch, it's good to be connected, it's good to speak about what it was important to speak. So in this case, our lovely beer community love industry. So sorry if someone's get offended by my presence in here today, and sorry if I didn't respect the blackout. Again, this is the best I can do for the people that I know. This is the best I can do for the people within this industry. And be connected, chat, and see if everything is fine, if we're all good, and things like that. So today I will speak with Greg Wells, who's the founder of the We Are Beer. And they are behind many different festivals along the UK, London Craft Beer Festival, Edinburgh, Bristol, and Birmingham. And they will probably create, not sure about this year, but I will check with him, Bigfoot, which is also a music festival, also then a beer festival with great beer, great drinks and great food. And has been quite popular, this Coach Stream, because we are chatting about what's behind the jobs that many people in this industry are doing. So I definitely will, looking forward to chat with him. An interesting thing is also that this week we are collaborating with Euroboozer. I can see Martyn in here. So every week I'm trying to work with people within the industry, like distributions or bottle shops or pubs, and try to get the beer from them when I can. And then, discussing about that other side of the industry, which is really important as well. And I'm gonna drink fantastic beer from Verdant, because this week is iconic British beers, and this is called There Will Be No Intervals, and it's a Simcoe and Mosaic Pale Ale, and I'm really looking forward to try it. So I'm expecting pretty dank and pretty rich flavor despite the 4.5%. And what else I can tell you? Yeah, With Greg, we're going to speak about beer festivals. So what's behind the most concrete expression of modern craft beer? And it's a matter that is really, really important for me because, we're all thinking that beer festivals are like the ultimate experience and celebration of the liquid, the industry, the community. And I will have the pleasure to discuss with Greg just in a few seconds. If you let me invite him over, start discuss. And I'm curious to see what he's going to drink as well. All right. You can hear some nice music as well. Let me know if it's clear to hear. If you are experiencing difficulties to, hear us, you shouldn't probably, so it should be fine. Let me disconnect the Wi-Fi as well. So you're gonna see, Greg, like a request to join the stream. You just need to press OK, and Instagram will do all they have to do. And let me know if it works. And in the meantime, I'm real crack on this beer because I want to really see in the glass how does it look like. So I was expecting this. Oh, nice. So to whoever just connects, I'm drinking a Verdant, Pale, Simcoe, and Mosaic, there will be no intervals. And yeah, I was expecting this. Nice and tropical, stone fruit, very round, a touch of that kind of an interesting, rich, sweaty characters on the nose. So I'm not gonna drink it, try it yet, because I wanna discuss with you in a second. But let me know if it's all good to go live in here. Just give me 1 second. So I will send you a request now. What you have to do is just, you can sort of send me a request if my request doesn't come up, Greg, because sometimes it does just goes be mad with it. So if you can try to send me a request, sometimes it works better. Let's see how it goes. And sorry guys, but sometimes technology is not on your side. So just give me 1 second. I recommend you to get off the video and just start it to watch again, and then you're gonna receive my request. I think it's the best thing to do, really. So let's see how it goes. Otherwise, just go with the We Are Beer profile. It'll be fine. So for everyone that just connects, this is Digital Beer Stream, and what's in the glass? This is the week number 9, and today we are having Greg from We Are Beer, the head behind, the co-founder of We Are Beer, and head behind many different beer festivals in the UK, the London, the Edinburgh, the Bristol, the Birmingham. So we're gonna try to find the best way to connect now, and then I'm gonna have him in a second. So just bear with me, guys. Instagram is a really weird platform, because sometimes what happens is you're trying to let Instagram do what you want Instagram to do, and then Instagram does the complete opposite, and it's just a matter. So I see Sylvan, I see Vic, I see Daniele from Aura Brewing. Hello guys, thanks for waiting with me just a second, and then we're gonna have Greg over. Unfortunately, as I said, it's a bit an annoying thing, so let me just, okay, all right. So how your day has been so far? Did you have a bit of walk outside? Did you enjoy the sun? Did you cook some food? There we go, I see now. That should be the one. I'm waiting to have Greg in here. Yes!
We're there.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm so sorry.
No problem, man. Instagram is, I'm telling you, it just drives me crazy all the time.
I couldn't work out whether you send me whatever. We're here. Hi everyone.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I really wanted to you know, speak with you in a long time, and
Yeah.
we haven't managed during the week to connect because I had some intense days and stuff. But great to have you here.
Yeah, I was chatting to a friend today, and I was like, weirdly, things seem to be getting busier again, which is good news, right? Slowly the break's coming off, and suddenly there's lots to be done.
Sure. I mean, I noticed like half of the pubs in London right now are selling like trying to find a way to sell beer. I don't know if I shouldn't say in public, but like you know, in like some glassware or like bottles, and you know, things are moving in the right way.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've had to kind of do what they've had to do, but I think off sales are totally fine, and it's great to be able to go and get some cold draft beer to go and sit in the park now with 6 friends. So that's good. Slowly, some return to normality will be there. As much as it's great meeting you on Instagram,
100%.
let's have a pint in the pub when we can after this.
That's the plan. Like, you know, everything is started almost to, I remember that you can have a big friends no matter where you are, what's happening. But then, yeah, I'm very looking forward to probably do similar things with all my friends, all the people that I met, all of these beautiful, fantastic people that want to share, you know, opinion with me in these days, but in real life. So I'm working on it. Let's see. And
yeah.
how are you like in these days? Are you busy?
Yeah. How are we these days? Do you know what? Like, definitely the sun makes life a little better. You can see I've got it plowing in here. It's a bit dark. I'll try and get a shade. Yeah, good. Like, I'll admit, probably like a lot of people who worked in the industry, those first weeks were scary in many respects, just because you know, your own personal health, but your business and everything else, and your friends' businesses, and but slowly we're finding our way forward. Obviously, our sector of the industry, which is events, at the moment we are a bit like well, even maybe more so than the pubs. We can't operate, but we're hearing some good news and some good signs, and so you'll have seen, or maybe have seen, that we postponed our events until the autumn. Yep. Which is really sad thing for us because we love our summer being packed full of friends and beer and good times and all of that, and people from around Europe. But hey, it's a crazy year for everybody. So we're really optimistic now, more than optimistic. We've got the events in, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do those things and have a special year in its own unique way.
100%. Oh yeah. Well, you know, I was checking on my favorite festivals, especially the music one. Recently, I have to all push until 2021.
Yeah.
Simple field day and simple things and all the ones. I was just like, wow. Okay, so what's it gonna happen to the beer? Is it gonna be similar? What you just said, it just a relief.
Well, yeah, so I don't know if you know, but we just launched a new festival this year, which was called Bigfoot Festival. And I think good food and good music alongside great beer has always been the 3 ingredients of our events. And obviously beer is the maximum in the craft beer festivals. With Bigfoot Festival, we wanted to turn the dial up on the music and the food to a degree, but really on the music, 3 days, camping, etc. That festival, unfortunately, we had to postpone till next year because the summer was running out, and it's establishing a new festival. However, with the craft beer festivals, we can be a bit more indoors. You know, the format works in the autumn as well. We can have some fun Christmas vibes for LCBF. And we obviously also have our other festivals in Bristol, Edinburgh, and Birmingham. So yeah, it'll be great. It'll be a great year. I mean, it'll be a tough year, and in some respects a sad year because so many people are hurting from this in the sector and just out in public. But it's also maybe there's some refocus on the important things. So yeah, fingers crossed.
And Greg, I don't want to stop maybe the first beer of the day. And if you're happy to do a cheers with me, I'm drinking a Verdant 4.5% Seagram ale, which is
You know what? I was just looking in my fridge, and I have that beer. Shout out to the Verdant guys. And so I'm glad I didn't choose that one, so that we're not drinking the same.
Okay.
Could you guess what I went for?
Mm,
You
well,
told me to get an icon.
yeah.
Of which there are quite a few now. So I went with I'm a total fanboy of these guys.
Right. I'm thinking about 3 or 4 beer, let's say. It could be a Steady Rolling Man from Staya. It could be
little more old school.
Oh wow, okay. Could be wow. All right. Do you really want me to go old school?
No, I mean not too old. More like 2000 and.
Well, okay. It could be Pairfire from Pressure Drop. It could be wow. Okay.
Last chance, Gabby. Nearly there. It's London. It's London, and it comes with a brown label.
Wow. Okay. That's it. Is it the pale or is it the table beer from Colonel?
I went pale, and I went with the Galaxy. I did chill a table beer as well, but I hadn't tuned into the shows as much as I like to, so I presumed someone had done these beers previously.
Do you actually? I did, I think, and I'm telling you. The funny part is I had Pressure Drop Fire on this side, and my wife, I think it was yesterday evening, she was just like, do you fancy a beer? We just said, yeah, let's do it. And she opened up. We're just like, oh, actually, we're saving that for tomorrow. And then it's not part of the core range. So yeah. I couldn't really, I say, you know what, I'm going for Verdant because it's an iconic brewery. But yeah, the one that you have is an iconic beer, I'm telling you.
Yeah. All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. And something that it always made me curious about, type of work that you did with all the festival is the fact that you started, I think it's 7 years ago, right? 2013.
2013 was the first London Craft Beer Festival, yeah. So the work started about late 2012.
Right. And like completely different situation than right now, right? Different audience, different place.
Yeah, 100%. Like some similarities for sure, but yeah, it was a lot more niche back then, and hard to find. You kind of you had to go and search it out. There was only a few breweries. Well, you talk about the Colonel, going down to Bermondsey when there was one brewery on the Mile. Well, now it's called the Mile, but one brewery down there that you'd go, and it was a real treat. So, and the first London Craft Beer Festival was kind of fun because back then you would ring up like Evan from the Colonel and Logan from Beavertown and Mickle from Mickler and Richard from Magic Rock, and these were the guys who were pouring the beer. Brewdog's beer came in the back of a car. James Hickson, who runs Rebought Beer, who was working for Brewdog at the time, their beer came in. So it was a little bit more. It was DIY.
Yeah, I could say that. Wow.
Yeah, and then, but it's incredible to think how fast it's developed since then. We had year one, we did 22 breweries and one sponsor, and we had fortunately about 2,000 people came. Most of them brought their ticket in the last week. It was terrifying. And now roll forward 7 years, and I guess we're over 20,000 visitors, hundreds of breweries, tens and tens and tens of great sponsors. It's become a whole different beast.
Why do you think London need it, or London beer, London breweries need a festival with his name on it? And these will go as well in for the rest of the festival. Like, why a city needs a festival within its city, in your opinion?
Yeah, that was interesting. So I'll be honest, when we started, we knew a little bit about beer, but we were super excited by it. We'd always drunk it and liked it, but the kind of knowledge was definitely not there in its biggest sense, or where it is today. And probably a lot of the quality of the brewers wasn't there either, but it was just like, wow, so much flavor, so much cool stuff to try and explore. So anyway, we went and visited everybody, London Fields Brewery, the Colonel, all the ones in London, up to, ringing people and around Europe, etc. And certainly for London, the sense that we got was that the breweries, that they needed help to put on a beer festival, help to organize it, help to get the vibe right, help to market it, because that's 100% a really big part of it. And we had those kind of skills, and we showed to the brewers that we were thinking about it and we were passionate about it. And then they were like, cool, we'll back you. I think they tried, or a few breweries had tried to put on events, and they just didn't work, because the breweries at that stage were often like a few people. So one guy was brewing, the other guy was like, when they finished brewing, they were jumping in the van, they just didn't have to put on a really great event. So, and then we were pretty fortunate. My business partner, Dan, the co-founder of the festival, he had an event space, Oval Space, the fantastic place that we started it all off. And so there was a series of fortunate incidents. So that's how London started. And then Bristol started the same way. When Bristol breweries came to the festival, they were like, look, will you do what you're doing in London for us in Bristol? So off we went there. We met Bruce at Left-Handed Giant, who had like the vague idea of doing a festival in his head. And he was like, look, I'm too busy. I did want to do one, but you guys have done, you take it and run with it. That was when I gave up my job, and so we got involved. And then the first Bristol, we met some people from Edinburgh. They were like, come up to Edinburgh. We knew a few breweries up there, like Tempest and Fallon. But we went up and did our research and met lots of people. And that's how Edinburgh started, and rolls on like that.
Wow. I mean, you see, it's like, some people almost feel like the London Craft Beer Festival is a thing that it's around forever, for the fact that you can't even think about London beer scene without the London Craft Beer Festival. And
that's very nice for you to say. I feel very honored.
Well, this is the thing. It's like the type of people that are waiting that kind of festival. It started from, as you said, almost like a circle of passionate about the liquid, to become a window to an entire culture that really part of them and attached to. So I remember to see friends around then didn't have to say hello to everyone that were pouring beer on that day, but they were there and they were experiencing, and actually they suddenly start to work within or help the industry. So you create something that is really, really, truly remarkable, in my opinion.
Thanks, Gabby. Yes, I really appreciate that. And it definitely felt when we did year one of the festival. Sorry, I'm getting more and more reflection off the thing. I wonder if I come round that way. No, it's just brighter on my face. It definitely felt in year one that, like, yeah, when you go to a party or a festival or an event and the vibe is good and people leave and there's a bit of magic, and that's what it felt like. And obviously that was coupled with all of these breweries doing such exciting things, going on to such greatness, so yeah, it was good. So I'm really glad that you say that. It feels like now, when we're in lockdown, as a person who loves festivals and loves hospitality, my first love is the bar and restaurants. Feels important to remember those times spent together, the cultural aspect of what those gatherings can be. Mm-hmm. When we're connected but not together, So I'm glad you said that. I appreciate that.
Well, and again, it's like there is a start along the year, then it's pretty much almost when the festival finish, and then almost starts to create almost like so many expectation to the next year, because they're gonna be new breweries, they're gonna be fantastic music acts, and something that I really really enjoy. And unlike many other festivals or events in general, you're really good on create there and push the the expectation and the people have on the festivals. So I always wanted to come and check if all of these expectations were well welcome.
Yeah.
Where something new, something fresh, something unusual, something that you never seen before.
Yeah, well, that's good. Keep us on our toes, 100%. I think, like, we've always tried to bring the philosophy that the brewers had. So at the start, it was very much around like, quality and putting everything and, being really kind of true to that idea of being quite considered. And that's carried on. But I think, always trying to bring something new, not stay on, not just stay where you are. Ultimately, there's a lot of beer festivals out there. There's a lot of beer events, like, it's amazing, like how many tap takers meet the brewers, beer dinners, all of these things you can do. So certainly in a city like London, you can go to a different pub and go to a different beer event every night of the week for a whole year. So for us, that puts us on our toes. Is if you're going to be the big event, so to speak, or one of the big events, then how do you stay ahead of the curve? And for us, that is about the experience. Joe, one of the things on that is I've really loved is also the diversity of the beer that we can have in a festival of that size. So like probably, we'll drink some of the latest and greatest and most exciting of Verdun or a Day you mentioned earlier, and superb breweries. I'm drinking a Colonel. But, and we love packing the festival with those guys. We love bringing in beer from new countries, but also bringing in people like Fuller's was really great. It was great to bridge that to more of the older cask drinkers. Or who did we have this year? We had Devel, like reappreciation of some. It's calling me. It's good. Reappreciation of some of the classic beers that kind of formed this. So that's wicked. To be able to have the space to expand on the experience is awesome. And then one of the other things for us has been the evolution into working with really great food producers, because beer's best with food. And yeah, can I just show you? I have a greyhound, and he's just lying around in the sun right now, doing his thing.
Wow. What's that? Creation.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, so I think the experience is really key. Working with the good food guys, we've been blessed to work with Luca and the Clove Club guys. We did a beer dinner with Matt and Broaden and Build, and Lyle's. We've worked with Hoppers and the JKS group. So many great food people who are super passionate about beer. So yeah, it's all of those things are really important to just keep it pushing forward.
And it's not just the festival itself or the celebration of just drinking. It's like a pure experience. The way that you curate the entire place, especially with the fantastic collaboration that you had so far with that incredible space, which is now just going out from my mind, the name of it. Do you remind me? Sorry.
The which one? Sorry, the cast.
The actual venue where you do it normally.
Tobacco Dock.
The Tobacco Dock is incredible. It's just like it's such a beautiful, versatile space, and you can go everywhere. And you can be so many different places. But the experience itself, like again, what's the actual purpose that you're offering to the people coming to the festival? It's like is a showcase of the best beer, food, and music. Do you want to let them enjoy themselves and relax?
Yeah. we talk about that a lot. Like, I think from our side, we have this mission of like making, like, we want beer to be as exciting as music or art, and as and make it as cool and as popular and as dynamic as those things. And for us, that is about delivering a really great experience that's inspiring, that gets people excited. So that is always the mission. And that is then, yeah, it's the diversity of the brewers. It's having the great people there talking. It's making people, when they're in there, see the connections between beer and art and the people, or food, or whatever it might be, music, etc. You know, that's always been the thing. So for instance, this year at London, you know, being able to work with Signature on an acoustic music stage was really, really awesome. Yeah, just working with the guys on that. And I think that is always our mission, is to get people excited into the beer, make them go on that journey, fall in love with it, you know, and go from there. Yeah, and then I think from our side, we've always, the other things are, couple of things we always stick by is positivity. Our job is to bang the drum for good beer, so celebrate it. It's a fucking festival, so, you know, let's not go, you know, there's so many great voices critiquing and calling out on stuff and making sure beer has its thing. That's great. We support that. We do those things, some of those things too, but our job is to celebrate. So that's one. Diversity in the sense that beer is really broad, you know, that's awesome. There's so many different styles of beer, different types of brewery, different people involved in it. So making sure we capture all of that is the other real one. And then the last one is creativity. And, you know, we want breweries coming with something authentic to who they are, to where they are, to whatever it is, you know. Yeah, you know, I think they're the three things that we always try and keep our mind on when we're curating the festival or building out a new brand or whatever it might be.
And do you remember, like, your sensations where you were floating around the day of your first festival, of your first beer festival, like 2013 London? Like, what kind of emotions you had? What kind of sensation you had?
Yeah, pure terror, pure bloody terror. But it went really well, and so that towards the end had like morphed into kind of euphoria, which was also fueled by the fact that I, you know, drinking, you know, they were early days of exploring how strong some craft beers were. But yeah, no, I remember that. I remember Jakob from Mikkeller coming and was like early on, and he was really kind of had his arm around me a little bit in the first one, and he was like, he's like halfway through, he's like, "You've not had a disaster yet. I'm sorry to say that means it's coming." Just ribbing me, but it never came, which was really good. And that was about planning, so we got through that. So the first one was fear, and then euphoria, and then fear because we lost a bunch of money, and then back to kind of a considered, no, we created something good, we can build on this and make sure that it works from a business point of view. Nowadays, fortunately, it's too big, and from someone of my organizational capabilities to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a great team who make that happen. Shout out to Jamie, who really organizes everything. And also Dan is fantastic, my business partner at that as well, which means that I get to play host, which means I just get to kind of like wander around, say hello to people, see what their latest beer is, and, you know, just, they call it client liaison, or
Yep.
Which basically just involves me having a good time with some great people. But, you know, it's a lot of work the rest of the year to that point. At least that's what I should tell you guys.
Well, let me put it this way. Like, did you add some different experience that you wanted to, or merge into your festivals? Or
Oh, shout out to Good Cam Brew. Hey,
guys,
how do I see who else is on here? Oh, Trap over in East 17. Orbit Sarah.
there are some good people in here. I'm telling you.
Yay! All right, guys. I did say Andreas, and then friends and family. They love signing on. Sorry. What were you saying?
I was thinking, like, did you actually had remarkable experiences in beer festival, music festival, and food festivals, even around the globe, and you wanted to all merge to your festivals, or there is actually a type or a festival where you found all together and you really, really enjoyed it?
Probably a mixture of influences. So Dan and I were friends at uni, my business partner. We loved going to festivals, so all the big music festivals, etc. And we're very much into our electronic music. I know there's a lot of rockers in craft beer, but that's not us. I'm sorry. But so those good times played an influence for sure. Then Dan set up Oval Space, which was obviously, there was a lot of dedication went into the venue there that he put in and his team put in. And so we wanted to reflect the venue in that first festival, which was like well thought through, considered, make sure everything's right. The other experiences that fed into the design was two things, which we were the first festival in the UK. We didn't even know this existed. We found out Mikla had done it at CBC to do the taster-led thing. And I love my food, and I like going to restaurants where, you maybe do a tasting menu or it's a set menu and you just give over to the chef to get to enjoy what comes. So we were like, how do we recreate that in a beer experience? Being able to pay up front and then not have to think about transaction, but being in that whole experience was really, really cool. And actually that idea was born from, we were at Great British Beer Festival where you tokens, transact, etc. This was 2012. We went around to the newly opened Camden Town Brewery, and they had Scar Brewery from Colorado there, and there was, they were doing flights, sliders, and you spent your money as you went along. And it's like, wow, they had great music on. It was like, okay, cool. How do we take some of this amazing stuff and take this on to a kind of festival level? And so yeah, that's how that happened. We still go to a lot of festivals. So for Bigfoot, we went to a lot of UK festivals. The Fringe idea, the idea of like people coming in and taking over and doing cool stuff around town. I like to go to Sonar Festival in Barcelona, which is a big electronic music conference. You're a fan? Good man. So yeah, that was the idea. It was like, how do we, if everyone's in town, how do we capture that energy so that if you're into that, there's just cool shit happening everywhere across the city?
And, again, I think there isn't really a platform where beer and music, or a certain type of beer and a certain type of music, are actually going so well together. And it's funny that you are doing things in Bristol, because there is a beautiful festival there called Simple Things.
Okay.
Crack magazine, and
okay.
I was going there, and it's all around the city. Like I did like 5 or 6 years in a row, and this year, unfortunately, they're not gonna do it, maybe. But then, I was missing the element. I was missing the beer, because the vendors that were working together didn't have have anything interesting really. So yes. Bigfoot, yes. And another question I've got about Bigfoot is, it's not going to happen in a city, right?
No, so Bigfoot is 3 days, beautiful outdoor venue around the lake, camping, main stage, second stage, beautiful dance area in the woods to go on, fucking yoga, like everything, you know, kids
Wow.
entertainment. And the idea was to like, and then some really great dining experiences and street food as well. So yeah, no, that was totally outside. So that was more born out of going to music festivals and not being able to have a good beer, or even if there was a good beer, only having one choice for 3 days. That doesn't really reflect how we drink or enjoy food, if that's one of your passion points. So for us, it was really cool to be able to work from that premise. We actually, for a while, worked to get good beer into music festivals, and it just didn't work in the model, where so many of them are tied to a big brewer, and even if they have a carve out, it's on such tight commercial terms that you can't really deliver choice and variety and diversity and some of those things. And so that's where it started. And so we were like, how do we build a summer festival, a 3-day, all in music, but that has the culture of craft beer, independent food, independent drink, all of that sort of, you know, small young businesses doing great things, basically. So that's where Bigfoot came. I'm so sad that it's not happening. Oh, we are going to stream a bunch of music of DJs that were going to be at the festival, and the friends who are going to be chefs who are really into music and do all of this. So we're going to have a day streaming, I think, from the Laughing Heart basement on the 20th of June.
Wow.
So we're encouraging people, now that you're allowed out to the park in 6, to like take a speaker down to the park, take a few beers, and we'll kind of not do Bigfoot, but, you know, have a drink and have some fun in light of Bigfoot and some of the artists and chefs and brewers that would have been there.
Are you gonna put your hands on Charlie's wine cellar, or are you gonna leave the cellar alone?
Well, Charlie's got a big dog, so I'm not sure, but I'm sure there might be one or two things. But we're hoping to like they're going to create a special menu at the Laughing Heart as well, so you can like either order food to eat on the day or finish at home, pack. There's lots of ideas. We're working really hard on it behind the scenes with Charlie at the Laughing Heart and the Clove Club and Two Lights guys. I can't really say who's DJing yet, but some nice names from our lineup. So yeah.
Sure. And what is the weirdest or most bizarre thing that happened in one of your festival? Any festival you want, but something really, really bizarre. Then you like, really?
Okay.
That you know. I mean, that you have knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's some stuff that I won't want to say. A festival is a bit like, you know, like a duck. You see the fine thing working, and there's just like pure turmoil underneath. But we did have our most famous guest was the actress Margot Robbie.
Yep.
You know, the famous like Wolf of Wall Street, I, Tonya. She came, and her friend. Her friend was. Well, he managed to basically crush a glass in his hand somehow and kind of cut his hand, and came over. He was fine, and yeah, it's just this really surreal moment where you're dealing with a sort of blood and this guy. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but anyway, and like a Hollywood A-lister who, you know, is reasonably good looking, and yeah, you're just kind of it's late on a Saturday, and you know there's craft beer guys and saying bye to brewers that you really admire, and then you've got Margot Robbie and like bandaging a guy's hand. That was one of the surrealist moments to have. Oh, there was another great one. There was nearly a fight between the Artful Dodger and one of the other artists because of their position on the lineup, which was Artful Dodger, the garage DJs.
Yeah. With David or without Craig David?
Without Craig David. Craig David.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Our music budget doesn't cover Craig. That was a slightly weird moment as well, like pulling quite famous artists apart at a beer festival because they were really angry. That was fun to be able to play like garage music at a craft beer festival and kind of blow people's heads was a bit funny. When the Cuban brothers played at LCBF in Oval Space, and like it just, I mean, they're slightly bizarre, but it just went mad, and like suddenly you had like, you know, guys from like the Colonel on their bars dancing to Lionel Richie and stuff. That's amusing. That amused all of us. So.
Well, you know, there is a universal opinion of you are making, and the word glorious is at the time, and I think some of the episodes that you just mentioned are making it glorious enough.
Yeah.
So wow, okay. And what is the best part of creating a festival? And would you recommend everyone to try and create their own festival?
Sorry, yeah, the other artist was Ghost Poet. That was it.
Oh wow. So Alpha Dodgen and Ghost Poet?
Yeah, Alpha Dodgen and Ghost Poet. We had to put them apart. It was jokes.
It's a sweet boy, right?
Sorry?
It's a sweet boy.
He was. And we'd actually booked him as the headliner, which we always knew that the fourth hour is the busiest hour, but like, and the fifth hour is slightly quiet. So Artful Dodger came on at the end because it's kind of crazy party music. But he thought that Artful Dodger had been booked above him, and they had a few words, and it was all a bit like very funny, very funny.
Yeah, well, that's the reason, because you don't want to have some grime going on during your beer fest.
Yeah, we don't. No fighting. Oh, my friend Batty's joined. That's good.
And
yeah.
Like, what's the best part of creating a festival in general? A festival. If you want to say a beer festival, if you want to say a music festival, and would you suggest?
It's a lot of work and it's a lot of stress on the day, but being able, the 100%, the payoff is the people that you get there. So there's a professional level of that, bringing a lot of people together. That you really respect and that have a lot of good ideas, and lots of great conversations happen. And, you know, the amount of collaborations that start at our festivals or at festivals, but, you know, definitely ours, is one. And then also just bringing lots of like-minded people together into something that has a bit of cultural significance for them. Yep. And there's that thing you can't put your finger on, but it's an experience, and you can see people leaving, and people thanking you. You know, that happened a lot at the start when they were small and they could kind of work out who was organizing it. And that's a massive payoff.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you think we are going to adapt festivals, beer festival, if the situation where we are living now, it won't disappear that easy, or even if it's going to leave some of these, you know, new habits like distance, like extra care on sanitization or things like that? Do you think there is a possibility that you will have to adapt for future?
I mean, I think the whole hospitality industry will struggle with 2-meter distancing. I don't think that's a possibility, but, you know, I do think we have to talk about these things anyway. You know, health and safety, cleaning. It's our responsibility when you're bringing people together to do that stuff. So we do talk about that. I think there will be extra bits that we'll have to bring into the management plans in the current environment, at least for the next couple of years, or at least next year or so. But no, I think, you know, I think fundamentally people want to get together, and I don't think that's going to change during this. I think any little trip around East London right now, where I live, and I know you do too, Gabby, will show you that people are you know, want to get out and want to enjoy themselves. I've noticed that, you know, speaking to friends in Australia and Denmark and places that have started to open up, the appetite's there. So, you know, new normal, people's ability to adapt to the normal is pretty quick. So I think once these restrictions are off, once people have digested it, you know, people will know the value in coming together, and it's the same, you know, no one goes to the restaurant just for the food, they go for the experience. No one goes to the pub just for the beer, they go for the conversation. So
I mean, the what we are missing the most, no matter if you are a brewer, no matter if you are a beer enthusiast or a music enthusiast or a musician, is this contact. is pairing. So I still believe that beer festivals are the epitaph, the epiphany of every beer experience, because it's where you are getting out the most of everything that you love in one single place, and which is fantastic. And I also see doing in different cities, adapt yourself and your offer in different places with different ideas and everything. It's fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, yeah, it's that kid in the sweet shop stuff. That's what we want it to be like. If you're into beer, it's just like, whoa. I bet, London Craft, the Tobacco Dock venue is like so good for that as well, because you just go in and you get lost in the thing that you love. People and beer and interesting stuff and new flavors and trying something else and looking at artwork and doing all of that kind of thing. So,
are tickets already available, right?
Sorry?
Are tickets available already for the festival?
Yeah, tickets are on sale for everything right now. We haven't kind of so they're all on sale for our postponed dates for London, for anything, and they're all going ahead. We'll probably be building up our conversations around it and our marketing and all of that stuff in once we're kind of out a little bit out of this moment, because there's still a lot of people suffering out there, and it's important that we all maintain the right adherence to the guidelines and everything else. So yeah, but everything we're hearing and from behind the scenes is we will be good to go, and so yeah, we will get back on that.
Wow,
clearly,
this is a nice question. Okay, so able to this group event next year to the demonstration of various new single what with it happens. Oh well.
Sorry, so no planning in case we are not able to run group events next year, also due to mutation of the virus. Do you see that as a concern, or just something you'll roll with it if it happens? I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I guess we're all becoming experts and epidemiologists to a greater or lesser degree. We'll take our lead from what we're allowed to do from the government side of stuff at 100%. So, thank you, Richard, for answering that. I mean, yeah.
Think about, I can't leave London to go and visit parents right now, which are just in Italy. I mean, an hour flight from here. But then maybe next week I'm gonna be able to. So for me, it's like, let's see. Let's wait. Wherever.
Yeah, 100%. Everyone has to wait. No one can second guess this thing. But yeah, no. Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, we'd all like to have the events. Thanks. Yeah, no, definitely. That's the aim, and we will.
You've been uber generous to spend all of this time with me today, and I have a big question for you. The last one, which is: okay, is there a brewery, an artist, a food vendor, which you really wanted to have in your festivals, and for some reason it didn't happen yet, and it's just like, come on guys, it's now time, 2021, 2022, 2020, wherever. Is there someone that for some reason
we've not been able to bag yet? Last year we had Ale Song. Shout out to James Goulding for helping us sort out that. They're one of my favorite breweries from Oregon, like super great mix firm, and Cascade came, so they were two. We haven't had Jester King yet, and I love Jester King. That was one you were thinking, yeah. One brewery that doesn't in the UK that doesn't come to too many festivals yet is Daya at Theo. So I'm calling out Theo on this and saying we've got to get him to LCBF. He keeps a very tight lid on his festivals, which I totally respect. But I'd love to see a bit more there. But yeah, Jester King would be outrageous. That would be really, really good fun to have him. I haven't had Pierre Tilquin at our festivals as well. You could probably tell some of the styles of beer that I geek out on myself. They would be really good. And every year I send email to Augustina. and get absolutely nothing back. Yeah, I don't think they. I think even the. Yeah, I think they send a bit of beer over here through like various bits, but like, yeah, those boys just don't like leaving Bavaria. I don't think. But I was like, come on, man, just bring some fresh lagers over here, and we'll.
How many keg of Helles you can bring all in once if you are coming over to the UK? I mean,
yeah, I know. Actually, okay, yeah. I mean, there are some really amazing, passionate people. Maybe I should do this. I'll end on this story. But last year we were very luckily the guys at Braybrook Beer, which was one that I had lined up. Maybe a future classic. We went to Marsbrow, which is definitely an iconic beer. And we went to wonderful the brewer Mario, another Italian at Braybrook, took us to all of his favorite places in Franconia, and we did meet a guy who ran a beer festival somewhere, like a little beer festival in Holland, and he was driving around all the beers in Franconia, picking up like one keg of each, which I know Manuele in Rome does as well. And he was kind of repeating that. So yeah, maybe next year, Gabby, we'll drive around Europe and just like pick up one keg off of each brewery we fancy.
I'm here, and whenever we have all of these beers at your festival, I will come to find you, and we'll choose with the same beer that we are looking for.
Perfect.
And Greg, I can't even tell you how happy I am that we found each other on this live, and I can't wait to see you and hug you and celebrate again.
Do you know what? In the weird beer scene world, Gabby, I've spotted you from across the room. I knew who you were and the good work you do. So yeah, Aura Brewing giving a shout out to Mario too. Yeah, so listen, yeah, absolutely. Let's have a beer after this and plot some fun.
Fantastic. And cheers again.
Cheers, man. And thanks for everyone who signed in. EUROBOOZER. Oh yeah. He's on tomorrow, I think, isn't he? Yeah, we'll hit up. Right. We're getting the old boys over from Germany.
Agustina sorted.
Yeah, nice one. All right, pal. Okay.
Yes, guys.
Take care. I'm probably not going to be able to even hang up now, am I? And you're just going to stare at me while I walk around my flat.
No, take care, guys. Ciao, ciao.
See you. Bye, guys.